Sonic 4 the movie has everything it needs to be the best film in the franchise. Seriously, did you know that many amazing new characters are going to appear in the next adventure of the fastest hedgehog in the world? Vector the crocodile. Many of these characters will be animals just like Sonic and Tails. It's become clear that the movies are giving less and less focus to the human characters so they can focus more on the animals, which makes sense since the games have almost always given most of the spotlight to Sonic's crew, with the only truly relevant human in the entire franchise being Dr. Robotnik. Because of that, there's a strong chance that the next step for the franchise is for the next movie to take place largely on planet Mobius, Sonic's homeworld, where most of the game stories take place. That would explain the appearance of many CGI animal characters, like Vector the crocodile. He is part of Team Chaotix, a group of private detectives who solve all kinds of mysteries. Espio the chameleon. Espio the chameleon is another member of Team Chaotix. If Vector shows up, he will definitely show up too. And if we stop to think about it, that would make perfect sense with what we know about Sonic 4's story. Metal Sonic will be the big threat, but we still don't know who built him since Eggman, the robot's creator in the game universe, sacrificed himself in the last movie. In other words, Sonic could very well hire Team Chaotix to uncover this mystery. Pretty awesome, right? But this is only the beginning, because we're going to tell you about all 14 new characters you didn't know will be in Sonic 4. You know what's starting. It's another awesome Cinewave! Emperor Eggman. Even though Dr. Robotnik, also known as Eggman, sacrificed himself at the end of Sonic 3, he was still going to appear in the post-credit scene, not as the usual Robotnik, but as a version from another dimension who managed to conquer the world, Emperor Eggman. That's what we can see in the concept art that shows the original version of that post-credit scene, where Sonic would travel to another dimension before meeting Amy Rose and the Metal Sonics. The artwork shows that both of the new characters come from an alternate timeline, and that the Metal Sonics serve Emperor Eggman, making him the main villain of Sonic 4. Unless these ideas are completely scrapped for the next movie, there is a very good chance that Emperor Eggman will appear as the main villain. It's a very interesting way to keep the character played by Jim Carrey as the antagonist without undoing Dr. Robotnik's sacrifice in the main universe. Cream the Rabbit. We all know that Amy Rose will be present in Sonic 4, since she appeared in the post-credit scene of the third movie. But have you stopped to think that this means another character's appearance is very likely? We're talking about Cream the Rabbit. The reason is that the little rabbit is a close friend of Amy Rose. In fact, we can say she is to Amy what Tails is to Sonic, which is why the two of them are almost always seen together. With that in mind, it's not crazy at all to imagine that Cream will appear, maybe already as the Pink Hedgehog's partner. In that case, will Cream come from the same timeline as Amy, or will the two of them meet during the movie when Team Sonic travels to Mobius? She's the Chao. Just like Amy's appearance is a sign that Cream will show up, all of this also suggests that another beloved character from the franchise has a strong chance of appearing. She's the Chao. This little creature always follows Cream around, like her pet. This little creature is a Chao, a fairy-like being. These beings were even referenced in Sonic 3 the movie, appearing as people in costume at a themed restaurant, suggesting that humans may have seen a Chao in the past and used that as inspiration to create that establishment. They also have a strong connection to another very important character in the franchise. So, are you excited to see these characters in Sonic 4? And for you who made it this far, we have a special invitation. Click the join button down below and become part of our exclusive group of subscribers. We have 3 plans for you to choose from. You can become a Wave Fund member and use our badges on your profile and special emojis in the channel's video comments. Or you can become a Wave Plus member and get early access to our videos and priority replies in the comments. But if you want access to our exclusive members-only videos and polls, you can become a Wave Max member. Starting at $2.99, you can become the newest member of Cinewave. Click now and get even closer to us. Chaos. He is the villain of Sonic Adventure and one of the most dangerous characters in the entire franchise. Chaos is a Chao who went through a mutation and turned into a monster made of a water-like substance, whose goal is to consume the Chaos Emeralds in order to become an extremely powerful creature called Perfect Chaos. From the moment Cheese is introduced, the existence of the Chao species will be confirmed, and then the groundwork for Chaos to be introduced will be ready. We don't think he will be a villain in Sonic 4, but it's very possible that he shows up in a post-credit scene, so we know he'll be the the threat of a possible Sonic 5. Come on, we have to admit that would be sensational. Silver the Hedgehog. All signs point to Sonic 4 playing with the idea of alternate timelines, at least if the Sonic 3 post-credits concept art, the ones that show Emperor Eggman, are not completely ignored. If the movie really continues with this idea, one character who absolutely deserves to appear is Silver the Hedgehog. The character has telekinetic powers. In other words, he can levitate objects with his mind, and is well known for being a time traveler from a post-apocalyptic future, so he fits perfectly into the story that seems to be developing here. Maybe Silver is from the same timeline ruled by Emperor Eggman and fights against that regime alongside Amy Rose, which means it's only a matter of time before Amy brings Team Sonic to meet him. Another possibility is that, just like in the 2006 game Sonic the Hedgehog, also called Sonic 2006, Silver believes Sonic is responsible for the apocalypse and tries to eliminate him, acting as a major enemy until he eventually discovers the truth and joins Sonic to defeat the real villain of the story. This idea would match the movie well, since the Metal Sonics that helped conquer the world look very similar to Sonic himself. The second and third movies of the fastest hedgehog alive use this same formula of a character who starts as an enemy and later becomes an ally, with Knuckles and Shadow, so it could be repeated with Silver. It would be incredible to see Sonic, Silver, and Shadow teaming up and using their super forms at the same time, just like they do in one of the most epic scenes in the games, Mephilis the Dark. Since we're not sure that Emperor Eggman will be the villain of this next sequel, we need to talk about another character who could end up taking the role of main villain, Mephilis the Dark. He is the antagonist of Sonic 2006, and the one responsible for the end of the world in Silver's timeline. His story is very dark, with Mephilis being one half of an ancient god who wants to restore his lost power. He could definitely serve as a replacement for Emperor Eggman if Jim Carrey decides not to take part in Sonic 4. The presence of Mephilis would also change the tone and make the movie much more serious, especially because he was the only game villain who managed to take Sonic's life. The Hedgehog only came back thanks to the Chaos Emeralds. Otherwise, the franchise would have ended right there. Can you imagine if Mephilis managed to kill him in the movie too? Blaze the Cat. Another important character from Sonic 2006 who could appear is Blaze the Cat. In that game, she also lived in that apocalyptic future and was Silver's partner. With Silver and Mephilis having strong chances to appear, she definitely has good reasons to show up as well. The funny thing is that in the games, she is not always portrayed as being from the future. Most of the time, it's said that Blaze comes from another dimension known as the Soul Dimension, and her main ability is creating and controlling fire, which fits her name perfectly. The movie could use either of the two origins, or even blend them together in some way. Eggman Nega. We've talked a lot about Emperor Eggman here, but what if we see another alternate version of the scientist showing up in Sonic 4? We're talking about Eggman Nega, who seems to match the story of this movie really well. He is actually a descendant of Robotnik from 200 years in the future. Jim Carrey has already played a present-day Robotnik and a past Robotnik, so now we're only missing a future Robotnik. He could appear after Team Sonic ends up traveling to the distant future, or maybe Emperor Eggman could be replaced by Eggman Nega in the fourth movie, since the scene where Emperor Eggman appeared was deleted. Another possibility is that Emperor Eggman does appear, only for it to be revealed that he is actually Eggman Nega in disguise. After all, in the games, Eggman Nega pretended to be the Dr. Robotnik of the Soul Dimension, so this would just be a light adaptation, and the villain would have reasons to do that, since he dislikes the present-day Eggman because his many failures damage the Robotnik family reputation. So Eggman Nega going back in time and pretending to be Dr. Robotnik to conquer the world could be a strategy to change his future into one where everyone respects the Robotnik name. We have to agree that would be an amazing plot twist. And if you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Click and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. Rouge the Bat. Shadow's introduction was the big standout element of Sonic 3, and the second post-credit scene made everyone very happy by confirming that the Dark Hedgehog survived after trying to sacrifice himself to save planet Earth. All signs point to Shadow appearing in Sonic 4, and if that's the case, it's more than time for us to meet his partner, Rouge the Bat. She is a thief who becomes his ally starting in the game Sonic Heroes. Since then, the two of them have been close friends in the games, and that could easily be carried over into the movies. Big the Cat. Speaking of friends, there's another ally of Amy Rose we could see in this movie, Big the Cat. His name pretty much sums him up, because he's a cat, and he's very, very big, serving as the strength powerhouse of Team Rose, similar to Knuckles' role on Team Sonic. The same logic we use to assume that Cream will appear can also be applied to Big. Since Amy's presence has already been confirmed, it makes perfect sense for for the members of her team, including Big, to show up as well. Surge the Tenrec. Surge is one of the newest characters in the Sonic franchise, having been introduced in the Sonic comic books published by IDW. She is a radical villain who went through cybernetic modifications to become a true threat. Since Surge has been growing more and more popular among Sonic fans, the movies could introduce her sooner than expected. Infinite. To wrap things up with another villain, we also have Infinite, who is the main antagonist of the game Sonic Forces. He has access to the power of the Phantom Ruby, a crystal that can be even more powerful than the Master Emerald. With the Phantom Ruby, he was even able to summon replicas of Sonic's greatest villains, which makes him one of the strongest characters in the franchise. Just like in Chaos's case, we believe Infinite could show up in a post-credit scene of the movie as setup to become the main villain of a possible Sonic 5, the movie. It's almost over, but until then you can stay with us. There are 2 super fun videos waiting for you. Thanks, and see you next time.